Expressing time. In order to express the time, we talk about the hour. We ask, what hour is it? In our response, if the time is in the 1 o'clock hour, then the expression is singular. And if it is 2 through 12, then the answer is plural. Also, know the differences between the questions and answers for what time is it versus what time is class at. Let's take a look at some examples. For the question, what time is it, we ask, ¿Qué hora es? Or literally translated, what hour is it? To answer this question, if it were 1 o'clock, we would say, es la una, or it is the one. Or, if it's 1:05, es la 1:05. 1:10, es la 1:10. 2 o'clock, son las 2. 2:07, son las 2:07. 3 o'clock, son las 3. Or 5 o'clock, son las 5. Notice that for the minutes, we put y, or the letter y, which means and in Spanish, followed by the minute. In Mexico, it is common to put con, which means with in Spanish. Below you will find other uses of the minutes, such as a quarter past, a quarter to, and half past. So let's start off with a quarter past. So if it were 1:15 and you wanted to say it's a quarter past 1, you could say es la 1:15. Now, is it possible to say es la 1:15? Yes, it is. But if you want to say a quarter, es la 1:15. If it's 2:15, son las 2:15. 9:15, son las 9:15. If it's a half past and it's 1:30, you could say es la 1:30. Again, could I say es la 1:30? Yes, you could. But if you want to express a half past, es la 1:30. If it's 7:30, son las 7:30. Or 10:30, son las 10:30. If it happens to be 5:02 or a quarter to, or some people say 5 till or a quarter till, then here are some examples with that. If it's 12:55 or 5:02 or 5 till 1, we could say es la 1:05. If it's 2:55, almost 3 o'clock, we could say son las 3:05. 6:45 or a quarter to 7, son las 7:15. 8:45 or a quarter to 9, son las 9:15. Notice that to express 5:02 or a quarter to, we say that it is the next hour minus 5 or minus a quarter, or the next hour minus a quarter. Okay, so interesting. Quarter to or 5:02. In Spanish, we do use AM and PM, but more commonly used is morning, afternoon, and evening, or night. Some examples: son las 8 de la mañana. It's 8 in the morning. Es la 1 de la tarde. It's 1 in the afternoon. Or son las 9 de la noche. It's 9 at night or 9 in the evening. So evening and night both use de la noche. De la tarde is typically used from 12 in the afternoon until, depending on your opinion, could be dusk or when it gets dark. It seems to be kind of an opinion-based separation there, but morning is pretty standard up until noon is in the morning time. Okay. As with English, it is possible to simply say the time, as opposed to saying a quarter to or 15 to, quarter to. Once we cover numbers through 60, this will be possible. And some examples of what I'm referring to is if it's 1:45, can I say 1:45? Sure. You could say es la 1:45. 2:45. Right? Or if it's 3:50, do I have to say 10 to 4? No, you could say it's 3:50. Son las 3:50. But because we haven't gone over some of those numbers up through 60, we're not quite there yet. But just so you know, it can be done. The second question that we need to focus on, the first one was, what time is it? This one is, what time is an event at? And we're going to use class as an example. So if I want to say what time is class at, I would say, ¿A qué hora es la clase? And you can pull out la clase and plug in anything there. You could say, ¿A qué hora es la fiesta? Which would be, what time is the party at? Or, ¿A qué hora es la reunión? What time is the meeting at? Okay, so this literally translated is at what hour is. At what hour is. ¿A qué hora es? All right. To answer this question, we would say the event is at. So, in this case, la clase es a las 8. Las 8 expresses 8 o'clock de la mañana. Another possible answer, es a las 2:15 de la tarde. Notice with this example, we don't specifically name an event. We just simply say, it is at. Es a. Es a las 2:15 de la tarde. And finally, another example, la clase es a las 8 menos cuarto de la noche. So the class is at 8 minus a quarter, or a quarter till 8 at night. So with the note here, notice that when referring to the time of an event, that we use the words es, Spanish for it is, and a, which is Spanish for at. It is at. When we don't say it is, then it is common to put the name of the event. An example of this is the class. But we could put anything in its place, such as church, school, the party, etc. Alright, so we've kind of already covered that. But anyway, those are our two main questions. What time is it versus what time is an event at? Study those two different questions and the two different kinds of answers. Notice with the answer for what time is an event at, we have to use the word at, whereas the other question we don't. Anyway, go back and study those two questions and the way that the answers are formed for each of them. Alright, so that is time.